Welcome to another scintillating show on Rising Above Shadows of Abuse, RASA. I'm your host, Grace Ovba. Today I have the adorable and compassionate Lisa Marie Anzaldua. What strategies enhance and empathy?
Yeah, so because they become aware of things like, oh, he acts this way because he can't help it. Oh, this is a neurodiverse dichotomy. It's a thing, so it because of that clarity and insight, the narrative switches from what it used to be, which is he doesn't care, he doesn't love me, this is abuse, he's gaslighting, to, oh, he actually is not being able to step into my experience. And he doesn't understand the emotional dichotomy, the emotional depth of what I experience. He literally is not understanding that. And so, things like that. So enlighten the holistic partner to the other person. Yeah, so it enhances empathy and understanding.
Thank you. So what holistic methods do you utilize in approaching and healing complex relationship dynamics?
Yeah, so it comes back to what is one's relationship with, I'm just going to speak how I talk with the divine, with the universe, with God, however you want to, spirit, however you want to communicate that or think of that. So we must turn to something bigger than ourselves to help us process everything we're going through. It is helpful sometimes to seek outside advice and guidance, especially from those who have experienced it and are on the other side, etc. But oftentimes it can cause a lot of confusion internally for ourselves. So when we attend to our emotional state of being, we become highly self-aware. We do shadow work, inner child work, internal family systems type work to heal from traumas that could be manifesting, causing ripples and chaos within the relationship at present and or influence our perception of what is occurring. We step into a place of deep self-love because we recognize we're not the stories that we are assuming to be. We're much more than that. And we can tap into our multidimensional nature, which is we are divinely guided. We allow ourselves to acknowledge that. It brings so much clarity. We clear lower energies within our nervous system. We learn coping mechanisms for our nervous system. Very practical breath work type, somatic work for our nervous system to regulate it. But beyond that, we use the guidance of spirit to answer questions for ourselves and to also help us get to the lower energy emotional traumas that we haven't yet processed, allow those aspects of ourselves to integrate and become whole. What I mean by that is when we have traumas from our past, we turn toward them, we bring a positive polarity to the negative experience by witnessing, being present with that part of you that had witnessed that trauma, and you reintegrate it into the self. What you're doing there is you're clearing away blockages of the lower energy centers. So that heart, you can really begin to step into your heart and make decisions from a place of actual, pure, authentic love and wisdom, the throat energy center. And you then begin conversations with spirit. That guidance becomes more and more prevalent in your life. And so you ask the question, so that's for an individual, right? But how does that impact a relationship? Well, that if one is sovereign in their being and they recognize they do what they need to do to heal, inevitably their frequency is going to rise and they're going to begin to see the other person in a different way, usually in a more positive light, which then impacts how that person interacts toward you. Or they come to a place of that balance of wisdom and love, where the wisdom being is, this is not self-loving. I can't be in this dynamic. I'm going to establish these boundaries with this person because this is not self-loving. So it's finding that kind of clarity with that holistic process. In general, this is very general.
What do you think, listeners and viewers? Please leave your comments via email address risingaboveshadowsofabuse@gmail.com. Take care, be safe, and be positive. Bye for now.